Bumping him in with a little Delta Soul. That could not be more fitting, Rhino. Well done. Joining us now, the host of In a Mississippi Minute, musician, Mississippi's music and cultural ambassador, and just an all-around nice guy, Steve Azar joins us. Steve, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? What you doing?
Oh, not much.
Very sweet. Tell Rhino he's got it. He's money this morning. He's on fire.
He usually is. You know, it's every time he walks through the door, I hear a cash register ring off in the distance somewhere. That's just how good he is. Let me ask you this, because that was the tease of all teases. Delta Soul coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, that was good work there. I try to be as good as you, but it's always a struggle when I do my show. But we've got it going on. It's the 13th annual. Obviously, Team SuperTalk has been so supportive, over the years. And we're one big happy family down here. We've got a couple hundred folks at least coming from all over the country, probably from 25 states, I think, is what we've sort of figured out over the years. And that's been steady. And it's from my wife and my foundation, the Steve Azar St. Cecilia Foundation, which we benefit programs for the arts for kids down here, from Camp Looking Glass to Boys and Girls Clubs to scholarships for kids to the DMI, the Delta State, to the school I went to, a music program. There's so many wonderful beneficiaries down here, and we've been able to keep rolling with the generosity of so many from in and out of state. So it's been a blessing.
Well, and you know, I know I'm going to be speaking to you when I say this. I'm going to assume, I'm going to make a standing broad jump into an assumption here, Steve, that your goal is to one day at one of these Delta Souls, you have somebody show up who's gotten a career started, who got interested in having a career in music by attending a Delta Soul event.
Well, it'd be nice if that was the case, or even if it benefited some child that didn't know or couldn't afford to put music in front of them, and then it mattered, just like Kingfish. You know, that's how it happened for him. He stumbled into at a very tender young age, went to a little camp at the Delta Blues Museum there in Clarksdale, and next thing you know, he's on the cover of Guitar Magazine. You know, if he doesn't do that, you know, then who knows? This prodigy that was born to be may have never been nurtured enough to get there. So, yeah, I mean, you know, look, our state, we are the birthplace of it all. And if you take the arts away, like so many schools, public schools and around the country, and you know, and the opportunity for that, especially in Mississippi, it's like taking away our farmland. And between those two, if you took all that away, then we'd pretty much left to nothing when it came to our most natural resource of our art and our farmland. So I just feel like, you know, it's just so important to continue to nurture that. My wife does. Our team does. Folks from around the country, they're crazy generous. Folks from our town, from our communities, from Jackson, around the state. It's just been amazing, you know, the generosity and the continuation of it all, and how good everybody – and it's a big family affair. So once you come here, we're like Hotel California as a family. You can check in, but once you're in, you're family, and everybody keeps coming back and back. And celebrity-wise, we got a great list. Mark Rippion's finally coming. Remember, Super Bowl MVP for the Redskins. He's an old friend, and he's finally making it. Jim McMahon's making it back. Branford Marsalis is finally coming back. Sterling Sharp is coming back. Gary Valentine, one of my best friends, we just found out that he has created and they have sold it to a series that will star his brother Kevin James, the John Daly story. That's out, and Gary has been working on this for a long time, and John trusted Gary with the story, so Gary will be down here celebrating the big news that they're going to have that series out probably in the next couple of years. So, you know, a lot of folks coming and doing good for us, and we really appreciate it.
Well, it is a fantastic thing. And, you know, the one thing I want to go back to, though, out of all that, because you got an all-star lineup. And by the way, Kevin James playing John Daly may be the best casting choice I've ever heard of in my life. Is that not perfect? It's perfect.
He's a great athlete. So both Gary and Kevin, their real last name is Niffing, and they both are fantastic athletes. Kevin was a really serious high school wrestler, and also I played flag football with Kevin, and he plays quarterback, and people will go, what? And he can zip it. So, yeah, he's a really good athlete, and I think that he's going to figure it out, and it's going to be a great role because John's life is heavy. You know what I mean? To tell it right, you're going to have so much laughter. I've got stories that I could tell you that you would just cry with me personally with John, and those stories may be told in the series because they were seriously crazy and fun, and leave a great memory, talking points. But at the same time, John's been very documented about his honesty with his troubles, and he claims it. He owns up to it, which endears him to the public because he says, I'm not perfect. And so it's going to be a great story to tell.
But I want to go back to the whole concept here. And aside from the lineup and the incredible people that you get to see and rub elbows with at the Delta Soul event, ripples on the water. Because if you want to trace it far enough back, and you could go further than this, but at some point in the past, a young boy named Steve Azar said, what do you call that? That's a guitar? Is that what you said? And then went from there to develop that interest in music and to get into it and to turn it into a career and to turn it into such a success as such a talent that leads to the Delta Soul, which leads to funding these programs. And then all of a sudden the next little Steve Azar says, now what do you call that thing again? And we started all over. It's the ripples in the water, man.
Man, that's nice of you to say that. And I'm telling you, I am part of the team. But I know I'm the face of the team, and I know that I have to, and I get a lot of credit, and I really appreciate that. But the truth is, you're right. And we got a lot of friends like Cedric Burnside. You look at Bobby Rush when I was a kid, watching Bobby Rush on stage, and he's still doing it. I've been so fortunate to tour with folks like, Bob Seger for, almost a year of my life, probably 9 months, I think, if I can recall. But, and befriend so many great artists and over our time. Des Dickerson from Prince and the Revolution comes every year here. And, the list goes on and on. But you're right. They all, just like me, came from something that inspired them at one point. For me, it was Eugene Powell back behind my dad's liquor store. I was 10, 11 years old, and I fell in love with what he was doing. There was a bunch of postmen sitting on Pepsi crates, and that's what they did at the end of their workday. And there he was, and it changed my life. Right there, that was the moment. And there was a lot of work that went into it from then, but I can tell you this, if that moment doesn't happen, then I'm probably a really bad doctor, and nobody wants that. How you like that?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. If you hadn't found music and music hadn't found you, where would you be? And now we're back on the topic of tongue depressors that we talked about last hour. I didn't expect that, Steve.
Oh my! Well, I ran around when I was a little kid with that little plastic doctor's kit. But the problem was, just like when I was a pre-med major for a little bit of time at Delta State, the problem was I threw out all the stethoscopes and all the stuff, that was there to make it look like you were playing doctor, and I filled it with candy. So that tells you everything you need to know that wasn't going to happen. And thank goodness my brother has been, a phenomenal doctor in Memphis at Campbell's, the chief of staff there. He's actually one of the chairmen of the board now of ALSAC for St. Jude. And my son, Adrian, is really doing it not like his dad. And he's about to be fourth year in Jackson at med school, and he's heading into Durham. So we're excited for him and the path and that whole. So Adrian is doing it for me because he's a lot smarter than I ever was, I can tell you.
Well, you see, and now we're starting to get, and I appreciate this so much. I appreciate, like you were talking about with John Daly, the honesty, because now we're starting to understand why you're so humble, because in your family you're the dud.
I'm the dud. Hey, listen, I'm not only the dud, I'm a milk dud, which is one of my favorite candies, by the way. So you're nailing it.
That was in the doctor's case when you were a kid, probably.
Oh, it was in there. Are you kidding me? All right, it was in there.
Well, not for long. If I know anything about you, it wasn't there for long. The wrappers, yeah, they may have been in there, but the candy itself, no.
It wasn't there for long, I tell you. It was a colorful looking kit when you open, from wacky wafers to Marathon bars to, we didn't have Skittles back then. We had Jolly Ranchers, and we called them Whiskey Mints. Did you ever call those things Whiskey Mints?
No, I never did.
I don't know why. Maybe because my dad opened the first legal liquor store. Maybe my mom just did that. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
It makes sense. It's marketing. It's marketing, man. If you can hang on for just a minute, because I want to make sure we get all the details out for everybody about when they can come, where they can come, how they can come, and attend the Delta Soul. We're talking to Steve Azar. I led him off into admitting that he's the failure of the family. It's one heck of a family if you're the dud. I'm telling you that. We'll continue with him right after this on Middays, live in the Element Wealth studios. I should have started talking 30 seconds ago, but I can't. It feels sacrilegious to talk over that. It's probably my favorite song that Steve has done. Steve Azar, Dave Hughes here on the Midday Show, Element Wealth studio. I love that song, Steve. I love it.
Rhino's a heck of a DJ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has what the kids call mad skills. Do they still call it that, Rhino?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, yeah. Way to pander to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. We have coming up this weekend the Delta Soul extravaganza. I'm just going to call it that because you got a little bit of everybody and everything that's going to be involved in this thing. And anybody with, an opportunity needs to make sure to make an appearance if they can. How does this work? When is it? Where is it? How do people get in?
It's sold out, which is good. So everybody's going to have to just kind of go, okay, well, you guys just rock and roll. It's in Greenville, my hometown, which made the most sense. And we've been doing it. It's our 13th year, and it's June 6, 7, 8. It's, with our basically everybody's a VIP. I mean, we haven't separated the sponsors from the celebrities, and there have been relationships that have been built that just it's the best. And these friends, and so to be honest with you, there's been so many great relationships built that it's the easiest thing in the world to get everybody back because they all want to see each other again. And I can tell you they've been the strangest relationships from Marshall Henderson befriending all these Kentucky Wildcats, doctors and a couple of buddies that own a bunch of filling stations all in big stores, like, sort of convenience stores all around Kentucky, all very, very successful. They jet in here on the private jet. And the first celebrity I ever gave them was Marshall Henderson. And they looked at me and they said, why is he here? And I said, oh, Marshall. Not only, they said, we hate him. You don't understand what he did, what he put us through. And it was serious. And then I said, well, not only that, he's your partner today. He's your celeb partner. And they said, we're never coming back. They come off the course. They're hugging each other. They've been to his wedding. He's had them on the field at Ole Miss. We have all become – I've watched them become brothers. And I think it's the most beautiful testimony to our deal. If you can get a Romp Arena Kentucky Wildcat group to fall in love with Marshall Henderson, then we got something special going on down here.
You're putting something in the water, it sounds like.
Yeah, we are. So it's just so many stories. John Bond obviously comes down, and Mary Beth, and they are endearing with so many of our friends too, and it's almost like we don't even say hello because these friends that they've met from clear across the country in different parts, it's been contagious, and it takes a lot of the stress off of me having to make sure that everybody's happy. So everybody's taking care of everybody, and I've got to be able to sing and perform and be up till 2 a.m, get up at 7 a.m. It's pretty taxing on me, but with that said, it's worth it, and my voice can rest on Sunday.
Well, and I got to tell you, you're kind of giving away the farm here. You're giving away the behind-the-scenes secrets here. Most people, I think, even if they think they understand this, really don't, that when you get right down to it, celebrities, whether they're athletes, whether they're musicians, actors, whatever, did you know they're just people too?
Really? No fooling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's hard to remember that for a lot of folks. They're just people. And if you treat them as people instead of as, a celebrity, you can make those friendships. And I think you've got a great event that you've put together that allows people to have that arena and that comfort to be able to do that. That's great.
Well, Dave, I've met plenty of celebrities along the way that we would not invite to this because, and they may feel the same way about me, but the truth is, it's a certain group of people that you just said they've been humbled. They understand where they came from. They understand how hard they had to work to get there. There's no filters in the way. They're just grateful. And so in the folks that I like to be around in the entertainment business are folks that are grateful, eternally grateful, and know that there's been a lot of luck and a lot of hard work, and the good Lord blessed them with being healthy long enough to be able to work at their craft, whatever it was, on the field or on the stage or on film or whatever it is. You need all these things working in your favor, and the odds are way against you. But folks like me and all them, we were just stupid enough or just determined enough or dreamed just long enough and hoped just long enough that we could get there to a certain part. And there's all levels of it. So we've been beat up way more than we've been lifted up. So it keeps us humble, but I make sure that it's the right folks, and that's why it works. And let me tell you what.
Well, I tell you what, Steve, we are out of time, my friend.
Okay, that's it. Big shout out to the sponsors because they're the ones that pay for it all. They're most important.
Fantastic. Steve Azar, Delta Soul, this weekend, big event, huge event in terms of impact. Outdoors, we're heading